Okay, so this week for my vlog update, I got another car related story for you. So this is something that was kind of scary that happened to me this weekend. Not scary, but just like, stressful, scary. Or maybe I should say that I did to myself, because it was really 110% my fault. But it does relate to life and the way that we tend to live it. So there's a lesson at the end of this, like always. I was babysitting, and earlier in the day, I had went out to run an errand, and I knew that I knew I needed gas. And when I parked in my garage after I ran out for a few minutes, I was like, okay, you know what, Alan, you got to leave a few minutes early when you need to leave later. You have to get gas because you don't want to have to go to the gas station at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I told myself that. Did I remember? No, I did not. So I got in my car when it was time to leave to go babysit. And I was like, oh crap, I know I'm not gonna have time to get gas. And so I started driving for like 5 minutes, and my light went on, and I had like 35 minutes to drive, and I was like, you know what, I'll make it there, it'll be okay. I knew I was gonna be cutting it close once I left, but where I was, there was like a little BP like right down the road. So I was like, you know what, I should be okay. Like I trust my gas tank. I've never ran out of gas yet. I should be able to make it from there to the BP. And I had my youngest sister with me, and at that point she was already tired. She was already cranky, as 13-year-olds tend to be. And so anyways, I'm done babysitting, get in my car. It's late at night, drive to the BP. I go and put my carton thing, put the pump in my car, whatever you call it, put the thing in, and like the buttons, it like took my card, but like none of the buttons are working. I'm like, what's going on? Maybe this is broken. And I go and I walk up to the like little store place, and it's like, we're closed. Our pumps will be back on at 6 in the morning. And I was like, so I was already worried about making it to the BP, and like my sister, when we got in the car, my sister like cranked up the heat because it was really cold, and I was like, no, don't do that, it might make us run out of gas. I don't even know if like gas is connected to the heat, but I was like, no, we can't have heat until we fill the tank up. I don't know how that works. And so I'm like, oh crap, like I thought that there was another gas station nearby. I wasn't like 100% sure where it was. But I was like, okay, well, hopefully we make it. And so here I was, like, my shoulders up, wearing them as earrings on my earlobes. And I was like, panicking. And like, I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know if we're going to make it. What are we going to do? Like, it's scary. There's nobody on the road. Like, I didn't even renew my AAA. And so finally, we do actually make it to the next gas station. That was a little bit kind of like down a hill, which I was like, okay, maybe this hill will just give me enough momentum to like swing into the gas station parking lot. And we were fine. And we made it, and I filled my whole tank up, and it was not a big deal. We made it home safe. But there's an important lesson here. Those minutes where it was so stressful, and I did it all to myself, kind of like my video last week. But the point of this one is, we can't, you can't pour from an empty cup, and not running on empty. It's a theme that we hear all the time. I teach at Yoga Innovations in Pittsburgh, if you're from the Pittsburgh area. And Claire has done, the owner there has done like a couple classes around the concept of refueling your tank, and we hear about it all the time, and it's kind of everywhere that like you have to fill yourself up. And yet we don't do it, or most of the time when we take a little bit of effort to do self-care, we just go from the point of being scary empty to like that point where our gas light barely shuts off. Like we just, that little like fraction of a switch on that, I don't know what you call that, whatever indicates how much gas you have left, when we're filling ourselves up, like we tend to do the bare minimum, and we just get it back to that point. And so what happens is like we have to visit the theoretical gas station so many times a week just to be able to keep ourselves on track and keep ourselves sane. Whereas if we would just stop for a little bit of extra time and allow ourselves to fill up more and to indulge in self-care a little bit more and focus more time on ourselves in a little bit of a larger chunk, then we would probably be able to go like all week without feeling like we're so drained and burnt out and completely exhausted, without feeling like we've reached our capacity and then some. So I think it takes a scary situation or a nerve-wracking situation like that sometimes to remind us how important filling things up really is, and filling ourselves up and not running on an empty tank. Because with a car, if you completely run out of gas, that's it. Like, you're going to be done. And unfortunately or fortunately, we don't work that same way. And we're, for one reason or another, by some magic, we're able to push ourselves a little bit further, but we're just kind of moseying along and we don't really have that energy left, and we're just kind of, going like extremely slow and not at our best when we don't take that moment to stop and fill back up. And there's no right or wrong way to self-care and to take care of yourself and to refuel your energy. We just need to make a better commitment to stopping and doing it. And for some people, that's getting a weekly manicure or journaling or yoga or whatever it may be, or just simply learning and accepting that we have the ability to say no to things that we don't want to do. Or sometimes it takes a tiny bit of inconveniencing others to be able to fill ourselves back up. And obviously we don't want our satisfaction to cost like hugely at the expense of others, but like whenever I'm on vacation, I always make an effort to get up early and work out. And it drives my family crazy because we're normally all like in one hotel room, and so like I get up and I go and I'll run or like try to find a yoga class to do, and every single night they're like, "Oh, do you really have to work out in the morning?" And I'm like, "Yes. We will all have a better day if I spend this hour and work out. Like, I won't be irritable, I won't be cranky. I'll have a much higher tolerance for when you guys drive me crazy if I fill up first." And so put yourself in that position of how scary and nerve-wracking it is when you're really like pushing the limits of your gas tank. And remember that that's probably what you're doing to yourself right now. And instead of just finding little kind of band-aids to put over what you need to fill back up and those little wounds that you have and the ways that you need to take care of yourself, think about how many times you're going to have to come back to that, how many times you're going to have to get yourself just to that little tiny point of just barely being off empty, when if we just dedicate a little bit more time up front, we could have a much smoother week, a much smoother time, when we make an effort to fill up our tanks as much as possible and to ride with that, to let that go, and to let ourselves be fulfilled in the midst of all the super crazy stuff that we have going on. So let my little mishap be a reminder to you that you cannot continue to run on empty, and I hope that you take a few moments today and every day and throughout the week to check in with yourself and make sure that you're doing things that are going to help you take care of you so that you can drive off to wherever it is you're trying to go.